But let me tell you what's special about the ivy that many people don't know. Grantley Herbert Adams is from the geography close around here at the corner of Welch's. These streets across the ivy, St. Barbados, Titchburn, some of them never had names on them. Skeets Road and Mary's Road and Minor's Hill and all those words that you hear now describing specific areas, all of those areas was constituted the ivy. I can carry you right back in history to the 1890s and show you when these lands were divided across the ivy. I can tell you where I was born. When I was a little boy, it was called Roberts Road. And then at a later date, somebody stuck a British name on it and called it Titchburn. We stand here today on this area of land. Many of us will have known it as Fees Land, all a whole set of different names. And then we give it a British name called Blennings, which is the estate of a man called Sir Winston Churchill. Now, those are things, in my view, that when we reach the level of Republican status, we must purge ignorance from the psyche of our people. It's a necessity. Republic must mean something. And very few people understand what a republic means. They have no respect for their own cultural identity. They have no respect for their heritage. They know very little about the Afrocentric strands of their history. Not even the elementary schools or the secondary schools teach you anything about Africa. They talk foolishness sometimes about you come from Timbuktu. They don't even know where Timbuktu is. It is a level of ignorance that those persons who have been fortunately to reach this level of education must share with other people across the community. You can't have a community that King Jaja live in, and you have ignorance only knowing that King Jaja went across the community looking at Becca Boxy. You can't have that. King Jaja was a king in Opobo. A man who stood up for the defense of the sovereignty of the lands which he represented as a king. How much do Barbadians understand? Because there's a necessity to decolonize the mind of foolishness and to be able to appreciate that you live in a community, not a ghetto, where some people want to make Carrington Village a ghetto, the Ivy a ghetto, Licorice Village a ghetto, the Pine a ghetto. And as long as you come from those communities, nothing good can come out of Nazareth.
We have to create the conditions for our African brothers and sisters in our region to have unity. This is a very important word, unity, for our own development. That is our proposal for Kwanzaa moving forward. Secondly, we have just witnessed a very important session in Barbados. We no longer have the Queen of Head of State of Barbados, and this is a very, very important thing for us. We are now a Republican nation, very important thing for Barbadian people and everybody living in Barbados. For us, Kwanzaa is also about building into the future. I want to say that we have to build on what happened on the 30th of November, because that's the first stage of the building of our republic. We have to create economic democracy so that working class people and all of our people in Barbados can benefit from the republic. We have to create the conditions for us to reform our constitution so that we can create better conditions for our people. We have to change our landscape culturally so we can better understand ourselves so we can move forward. We have to create the conditions for the people to participate in the process for the electing of a president, and not just an electoral council or part or group within parliament. It must be a people's decision.
This Kwanzaa celebration start the day of Umoja, which means unity, and unity has been essential in bringing to Cuba the kind of self-respect and self-reliance that we were able to achieve along the centuries. And within that framework, we recognize an important component of Cuban identity came from Africa. Came from Africa, not only from Angola, from Ghana, from Guinea, from the southern part of Africa, from the heart of the continent, but also from the islands. From the islands like the Canary Islands, from where my ancestor came, or from the islands of Cape Verde, Cabo Verde, which are all of them were at some point Spanish colonies and made the route for these Middle Passage for a number of groups that came to build the cohesiveness of the Cuban identity, which is the result of the mingling of all of those ancestors into one spirit that has a very peculiar and representative identity based on culture. And when I came to Barbados, which I had studied, I had read about, I had visited shortly, I came to realize that we both countries, island countries, small island developing states in the Caribbean, share something that is very precious. We share this kind of mingling of all the constituents of a society that produces a peculiar culture that has a peculiar way of feeding, a peculiar way of singing, a peculiar way of dancing, a peculiar way of speaking, a peculiar way of relating in the community, the families together.